What's going on, guys? This is Joe from Cincinnati here. I got here a game from my the second season or the first season or the preseason, something like that. The Discord League, the second go around of the Discord League. If any of you followed the last set of videos that I've posted and linked in that playlist that I can link in the bottom below, spoilers, I made it to the top four of the first Discord League, and now we're kind of doing a second Discord league that's almost, they call it a preseason because it's more like a pod of 8 people, round robin. So you're in a group with 7 other people, and you play all 7 of them, and then whoever's the top of the pod, I think the top 2 of the pod goes to the next round or something along those lines. Maybe it's just the top one. I'm not sure, but we got here my first match, and I recorded it. I didn't want to talk during it because I wanted to focus on the game. Uh, there's some discussions about whether uh, commenting during the game or commenting after the game is a better idea. Uh, shoot. So I got all my tabs open that you can see, I guess. All right, well, whatever. You guys know that I watch everything wrong with and stuff like that. Fine. Okay. So let me just pause this really quick. Uh, I wanted to record this and then do it later, just so I could focus on the game and not have to worry about narrating the game as I'm playing. That can be a little difficult sometimes, and it'll end up in like, you know, dead space and things like that. And then this way I can speed up where decisions are being made and things like that. So um, we see here I mulliganed, so I'm mulliganing right now. I have these four. It's a difficult choice. I really like the Heated Guardian. I like one costers, so I wanted to get rid of those. And look at that. It's just an incredible starting hand of the Witch Hunter, and then the Heated Guardian, which is just a one coster, the Vanguard Warrior, and then a holding, so that the Heated Guardian can go ahead and bump up the attacker if I need to. And in addition, you can see that I got a charge in hand. Charge, Watch Commander, Court Games, and Assassination. Jigoku.online is what we're playing on right now, and it's a little weird. You kind of have to scroll back and forth between the game and my hand. I didn't notice it during the actual game, but I guess it might be a little confusing. Uh, trying to watch now, so we'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But anyway, he starts with Doji Representative, and then I go with a Heated Guardian. He didn't have to worry about the Way of the Crab because he's first, so he could just buy his big guy and then buy his little guy afterwards. Um, so I chose to go second, so that's the risk I take. I didn't have a Way of the Crab anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now I have a Heated Guardian, and I have a Steadfast Witch Hunter with 2 Fate, to his Doji Representative, the new card from the pack with 2 Fate, and a Doji Whisperer. We bid 3 to I think his 4, yeah. And he has 2 Fate because he passed first, because he was first player. And I have an Assassination, Court Games, Watch Commander, Charge, another Assassination, The Mountain Does Not Fall, and then a Goblin Sneak. So Goblin Sneak is a very interesting card. It just came out with this most recent pack. I really like it personally. So it's just a good fate denial mechanism. Obviously, I can't play it right now because I only have 1 fate and there's no fate on rings and things like that. But it may come into play. He played a Spyglass on his Doji Representative, so we already know he's splashing Unicorn. So no attachment control out of the conflict deck. I can eliminate that. No Miramoto's Fury. I can eliminate that. Those are both very calming to me. I have a feeling he built this deck around the Doji Representative and the Spyglass. Really abuse those Spyglasses to get as much card draw out of them as possible. Since the Doji Representative does say, during a conflict action, move this character home. So she can commit to a conflict, like he's doing right now, Military Void for 1. He's probably going to just declare that guy, make me defend, and then he's just going to pull the guy back, which is a pretty sound choice, to be honest. So now I have the choice, what do I do? Do I defend with a guy and then watch the mountain does not fall him, or what? I reveal shameful display, so I want to defend, unfortunately. I do want to defend so I can use that ability. And plus, if I didn't, he would be just one fine katana away from breaking, and then I'd have to respond to that. So, I am going to defend, and when you have the Heated Guardian, you may as well just defend with both of them. I know some people may disagree with that, but that's fine. I just didn't want to get admit defeated, and I didn't want to deal with that since he does have 2 fate. I didn't want to deal with admit defeat or anything like that. So uh, I'm going to defend, and I'm going to shameful display his doji representative, and I'm thinking about which one to do. I I originally was going to do the steadfast witch hunter, but then I didn't. I took that back because him being honored doesn't really matter all that much because he has 0 glory. Uh, and the Heated Guardian has 1 glory, so at the very least I'm getting an additional strength buff. Not that it really matters in this particular conflict, but then he's going to go away at some point during this conflict, or during this round, and then I'd gain an honor. So that would be a good way to let me bid more, things like that. Um, I'm trying to decide, do I use the mountain does not fall, or do I save it for charge? Since he's doing a void conflict right now, I don't really have to worry about the dreaded void conflict plus meditations on the Tau thing that sometimes can knock out a 2 fate cost character. So I just decide to do it on the steadfast witch hunter, um, and just be done with it. I was considering, at this point I think he passes. I was considering doing something along the lines of like sending home the Heated Guardian that way with the favorable ground that I have in my province, but that doesn't really serve a purpose because then I don't have a holding, and then the Guardian's value goes down pretty hard. So he sends the guy home. Predictable. I think he just took his doji representative home. So I pass. My Guardian bows, but my steadfast witch hunter stays up. So now I have the choice of what I declare. I'm trying to decide between, I kind of want to dishonor his. I kind of want to just pressure dishonor a little bit. Take the firing away. I can stop him from re-honoring his doji representative, which makes her really, really bad right now because she's a 1/3 with a spyglass that's dishonored and has a glory 2. So she's, I think, a 0/2 right now. So I kind of want to do the fire ring, but I might want to just push hand advantage with the Ring of Earth. I might want to do water maybe to stand the Guardian. I don't think I'd want to do that, but I think I ultimately choose, yeah, the military fire. So I declare, I hit Art of Peace, which gives him another fate. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, he gains 1 fate because he's Seeker of Air now. Crane is Seeker of Air. I forgot about that. Well, I didn't. It doesn't matter, but I remember looking at his. I remember looking at his. I keep trying to scroll up. So he tries to outwit my steadfast witch hunter. That's fine. That's acceptable. It cost him a fate. I just send the guy back in with my favorable ground. Since the Heated Guardian's done for the round, uh, it's not something I'm really concerned about. So I'm just going to send the Witch Hunter back in. So now it's my 4 to his 0, I think. So I'm currently breaking. And then he does it again. So he spent 2 fate to outwit me twice because he got that extra fate from you saw I was about to type like, where'd you get second fate? But it's I had to look up and it's like, oh, it's Seeker of Air, right? So fine, he sends me home. I have to pass. I don't have fate for the charge anymore, unfortunately. So I have to pass. But then he doesn't claim it either, so it just goes back to the pool. I think it does. Yeah. So it goes once he declares to pass. Oh, then he sends his Whisperer home. That's a fair play. So there's no winner, no loser, and we go to the next conflict. I'm just gonna speed this up a little bit here. So if you'll remember, my witch hunter still is okay. I'm gonna slow it back down. He's still affected by the mountain does not fall. So I can just defend with him. Don't have to worry about him bowing to conflict resolution because his mountain does not fall. And then my first action, give him +1 with the Nishiyama to make him 3 strength so that his stronghold can't bow me in this political conflict. So he adds, what do he add? I think it's just a fan. Yeah, he just adds a fan to his representative, which is fine. I'm going to make him dishonor his Doji Whisper, which makes it 6 to 3, I think. Why did I do that? I thought I was defending a 4 strength province. You know how you do. So I thought I was defending a 4 strength province, so I tried to bring it within 3. And then afterwards I realized, oh, it's 6 to 3. That's breaking still. Shit, I have to assassinate this Doji Whisper. So I do it. I assassinate the Doji Whisper, which takes 2 strength off the board. He's still winning. I should have just... I honestly should have just done that to begin with. It served very little purpose to court games him before I did that. It was a mistake because I thought I had a 4 strength thing. I thought I had a 4 strength province. But it's worth it to save Shameful Display because then they basically never want to go back there again. Which makes them open new conflicts, or new provinces and such. So here I am, I have 5 cards to his 6 cards. I just want to declare an Earth. There's nothing super impactful right now. Earth and Water aren't going to do very much of anything. So I just want to do Earth just to buffer my hand and hurt his hand. He bowed my Witch Hunter with his Stronghold, but then, I still had my Witch Hunter, so I just stand him up again. Then he passes. I didn't have anything to I didn't have anything to make it break, so I just had to pass. I won. I drew a Spyglass, which is great. And he discarded, I think, a Duelist Training. I win the favor because I won on defense and I won on offense, and he only won 1 on offense, so I get the favor. I put on Political because why wouldn't I do that? And I just want to keep that guy in my hand. I still have the charge. I still have, and with 1 fate on the Steadfast Witch Hunter, I was thinking, I could bait him into doing a Void since if I pass Void or if I choose not to do Void, I can bait him into doing Void, removing that 1 fate, and then I can just charge in my Vanguard. So, especially now that I see Kasada, my thinking is Kasada, turn 1, Kasada, pass. I'll have 1 fate to go. So I'll just put 2 fate on him. And, have 1 fate going in, which is all I really needed, to be perfectly honest. I was thinking, charge is all I really need, so I am not going to bother with it. So I do that. I play Kasada with 2 fate, and I'm expecting him to play something. I don't know what he's going to play, but I expect him to play something. And then he passes. So he passes, he gets 8 fate, which tells me that he has, the drop bears or whatever you call them, political rival probably in his hand. And then I say, why don't I have a fate? But I didn't realize until then that he passed. So, that aggressive passing, really, it denied me a fate that I was expecting to get, like I said in my article. And by the way, my article is on wardensofmidwest.com if you're interested. And as expected, he plays a political rival with 2 additional fate, and I pass. I don't have any fate, so I can't do anything. He plays a Steward of Law, which I found interesting. He had 2 fate, I don't see why he wouldn't just put a fate on him. Just to have a little bit of board continuity. I was thinking about doing Void to get rid of the representative, but honestly, I was trying to maintain a board state, and since I have this keeper, I wanted to have a sacrifice target for my steadfast witch hunter in order to stand up somebody after I attack. So I can do the big attack, get the keeper, sacrifice it to stand the witch hunter back up. I could have done water or air uh, to get the fate, so I could charge in either the Vanguard Warrior or the Intimidating Hida if I needed to. But those two just weren't going to work for me that round, you know? The Keeper was more valuable than the one fate. So I ended up going with Earth. And this is an interesting thing that he did. He defended with the character with the Spyglass so that he could Spyglass to draw a card. And then he spent a fate to admit defeat his own character, since he is defending alone, to get through Kasada's cancel, so that he could then send his character home, as he just did, with her ability. You know, if he had not done that, the send home ability would have been canceled from Kasada, and then he would have knelt his guy for essentially no reason. So just to get the Spyglass, he wanted to get that Spyglass. For some reason, I guess he chose to do it on defense rather than offense. I'm not exactly sure why, but you know, it's just he obviously wanted to see what that Spyglass produced as soon as possible, so that he could plan his conflict out properly, I imagine. So here we go. I won. I broke the Art of War, which dishonored my two guys. I stand Kasada. And it's at this point that I kind of wish that I had either a reprieve or I had that court games from the first turn, because I was really worried. Sitting right here, I was like, he's probably gonna do fire. He's probably gonna honor his little steward of law, and he's going to noble sacrifice my Kasada. Like, I was like 90% sure that was the plan that he was going for. But it ended up not being the case. He obviously didn't have it in hand. So he goes with the political heir. I guess he's trying to pressure my honor early. Void was what I would have thought he would do. But he ended up going with heir to get that, basically make me lose an honor, and then he could gain honor. I'd have to check once I scroll up to what his honor was. I think it's like 6. So I let him do it. It breaks. I draw a card from the Fertile Fields first, which is nice because it was a fan, which allowed me to attack with Kasada and not be bowed by his stronghold, which is nice. I like that. It works for me. So that's what I do. I attach the fan to him. Now, this is another thing that he chooses to do. I think he was. I'm not exactly sure why he does this once he does it. Hold on. He plays another Steward of Law. I have 4. I think he just wanted to get over the hump or something. And then I attack, and it is Rally to the Cause, I believe. Oh. Yeah, so I declare a water just to get the fate, and he Rally to the Causes me, which is fine because I don't mind that at all. But then he changes it to military. He said it was a mistake. He said he didn't mean to do that. So this is you know, this is one of those things that I don't like about Jigoku, is that when you have things like this where, you know, you have one shot to do something, and then if you miss, it like messes up and you can't go backwards, you can't like rewind. So I ask him, like, can you manual mode flip it back? And he says he doesn't know how. I checked the help just to see if there's like a flip the conflict action, but I didn't see any. So if anyone who's watching knows how to make that happen, let me know in the comments, because we were lost. So I just told him, like, do you you know, we can just pretend and kind of try to adjust later. But he said it's not a problem. Let's just carry on. I guess I was going to say that, and then he said it's not a problem. So he outwits my guy home, or well, no, he force shamed my guy to bow him. And since he did change it to military, I had this fate. It's a military conflict. I just kind of thought like, oh, if I can win this if I charge in this intimidating Hida. And then I realized like, oh shit, it wasn't supposed to be military. He flipped it unintentionally. Like I'm being a dick. So I say like, oh, is that a dick move? Uh, then I just take it back. I'm gonna. So I decided to take it back. Uh, you know, he flipped it, but he didn't mean to. It was an interface error. So I shouldn't have played the charge to begin with because it wasn't a mistake on his part to do it. It was a mistake on the interface because he accidentally pressed a button that he didn't mean to. So I just take it back. That's fine with me. I shouldn't have done it in the first place, to be perfectly honest. Being kind of a jerk, but it worked out. We rewound it, and it worked out fine. And then we just go to the next round. So I flip another Kasada, uh, and then what's his name? Shuichi, an Imperial Storehouse, and then I have the same intimidating Hida. So I just copy my Kasada again, and this is another case where I think he was expecting me to buy something because I have 8 fate. Why would I not buy something? You know what I mean? So I think he buys the Brash Samurai, yeah, and then I just pass. I pass. I go to 9 fate. I have plenty of fate. I have a good board state, relatively speaking, and he is obviously expecting me to pass. So he has, God, Joe. This is very irritating. Uh, we do a bid 2 of 2, so he has 1 fate. Now remember that Goblin Sneak I had from my first hand. It's really important on this turn because I attach a Spyglass to Kasada. Excuse me. Then he's going to declare something. I forget what he declares. Um, Speed this up a little bit. I have 8 fate, so I'm sitting pretty here. I'm perfectly comfortable. I think he starts with the Doji Challenger. We'll find out. So he's doing a Brash Samurai and Doji Challenger. Um, he is going to do those 2. So you can see the highlight there. That's means he's like preemptively selecting them. And then he has the choice of going back to Shameful Display, which he's not going to do. Okay, never mind. So why is that guy red and that guy blue? I'm confused. Did he do that? Hold on. What did he declare? It doesn't say. It doesn't say who he declared. That's weird. That's bizarre. I don't like it. So he chooses to do the Void Ring, which does not have. Did it have a fate on it? I don't think it had a fate on it. So, this is so annoying with how the size of the screen. I defend. Let's just play this again. And I immediately choose to play the Goblin Sneak. Takes a fate from him. And I was going to play the second one that I drew that round. I was going to play the second one to take his other fate because Kasada cancels the first action. So I was like, he's not going to want to spend the fate on an action. So I'll just let him do something, then I'll take the other one. Well, he played an attachment for 1. He played a favored mount onto the Joji something or other. So I was like, all right, fine, I won't do that. I'm just going to use the meditations in the town of the Challenger. By the way, he used the Void Ring so that he could deny me trying to take a Void off of his political rival with a military, since the political rival can't defend, things like that. So that's why he went Void. I don't think he really cared all that much about taking the Void Ring. He just wanted to deny me the Void Ring. So he's going in with this. I'm winning because Kasada just wins military conflicts, and he says, laugh out loud, cocked up. I think he's talking about just the He attaches a fine katana, and I attach a fine katana in kind. I think he's saying he cocked up, but in reality, I think it was mostly just the Gabo, the Goblin sneak that messed him up. I don't think that he messed up at all. So here we go. I'm winning 9-7, and I think he just passes. I don't think that he has a dog in this hunt anymore. So now I have the second goblin in my hand that he doesn't have any fate, so there's no reason to play it right now. So my choices were, do I go air, earth, or water, or do I go fire to take the fate off the board? Well, because of the goblin sneak, I didn't have to worry about that, because if he takes the fate, I just immediately play the goblin again, take it back, and then he has no fate again. So I wasn't worried about denying him fate this time around. I just wanted to declare, I think, an earth ring. See, I'm thinking about fire. I have a feeling I go earth. That's what I feel like I probably do. I might even attach a second spyglass to Gasada at this point. Speed this up while I'm making my decision. Yeah, I don't do it yet. I don't know why I didn't do it yet. I feel like it'd be a good idea to do it. But anyway, so I'll do a military earth conflict. I just go with Quesada. He doesn't have any fate, so he can't like do anything so bad. He already played a Force Shame. I don't think he'd see a second Force Shame this early. He might. You never know. But I had all these charges in my hand, and I drew a third one. So I had all these charges, so I knew, like, I'm winning this conflict. Maybe he bows Quesada, which would be a bummer, but I honestly don't care all that much. Then he just chooses not to even defend, because there's no real way of him defending successfully, so there's really no reason for him to defend. I get my keeper, I draw a card, it's a rebuild, which I love. I love rebuilds. Rebuilds are so good. Since I have a holding in my discard pile already, so I can just use that whenever I need to. It's a favorable ground that I can just use when I need to use it. So at this point, I just pass. I took the second province, and now I'm just waiting for him to declare his second. If he does a military, I could always charge somebody in. If he doesn't, what did he do already? Did he already do a military? Yeah, I think he already did a military. So he's going back to the meditations on the Tau. So this is what he ends up doing. I think he does the representative and the brash samurai together, which makes sense. You attack and defend, and then the brash samurai can. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I think he ends up doing the representative and the brash samurai. The reason he does it is so that he can attack, make me overcommit, and then he can bring his representative home, and then he can honor his brash samurai. So that's probably what he was doing. I think that's what he was thinking. The problem was I had not passed a conflict. I hadn't lost a conflict yet, so Quesada was still active. You can see I have both of the claimed rings. I have not lost yet. So he does that. He does that fire ring, as I expected him to get that fate, and then I immediately Gabo sneak him again, take that fate away from him, so he has 0 fate again. That's 2 Gabos, 2 fate taken from him, just to basically take away his options. I don't know what he had in his hand, but I know that he wanted that fate, because he went for the conflict that had the fate on it. So he uses the favored mount to cancel, to soak Quesada's cancel, which I'm not upset about. Then I go +2 or +1/+1, so he can't bow my guy to what's it called? What do you call it? His stronghold. So if he's going to bow somebody, he has to bow the keeper, which I'm okay with. I probably didn't need to defend with the keeper, to be perfectly honest. Probably wasn't necessary. But he ends up bowing him. It's just a force of habit to defend with 2 people against Crane, simply because they always seem to have admit defeats that really just ruin a conflict, or force shames, or things like that. So it's always good to just have an additional character just in case. Of course, in this situation, it didn't matter at all. So, I think he's winning at this point, 7-3, and so he's breaking. So my thinking was, I think here, what did I do? I was thinking about assassinating the Doji Challenger, and then he just says Goblin Sneak. Goblin Sneak is quite useful. So it's 7-3. I'm losing by the exact province strength. So what I do here, I just rebuild onto that province the favorable ground. That gives me some options. If he does decide to retreat with the Doji representative, I can just retreat with my guy and then assassinate his brash samurai, or do it the other way around so he doesn't have the room to cancel by honoring the brash samurai first. So he's now winning but not breaking. I think that he was considering just sending the guy home and honoring his brash samurai, but I think that he realized I might have an assassination in hand and wasn't willing to risk it, so he just lets it happen. He just takes the win, doesn't break the province, and honors his Doji Challenger, which is a good honor. That's a good thing to honor. That character is huge now. The only conflict I have left is political, which I don't care about anymore. I can't really do anything. I have a Wayfinder in my hand, so I was briefly considering, like, should I just play the Wayfinder and everything? But he has that just to look at a province. But then he has that political rival there. Hold on one second. He has a political rival there. So if I attack into him and he wins, which he would, 1 to my 6 if I played the Wayfinder, he would win 1 to 6. So rather than doing that and letting him tie for the favor, since I had 2 rings to his 1 at this point, he didn't have any more challenges. He was first player. So since he has a favor, I chose to just pass. I can always play the Wayfinder next turn, and then maybe see more favorable options. And then, so I just pass. I take the favor back. I put it back on political. That's not so important right now, but in the future, playing for the favor is an incredibly important thing to be doing. I just clear my provinces. I want to see things that interact with that holding. I like shrewd Yasukis, like Guardians. And then he says, yeah. So I see another Guardian, which is great. And I have this Suichi again. I have 2 holdings. This is going great. It's going great for me. I still have my 3 charges. So once again, let's see here. He plays a character, and it's his clan champion, which means he's probably passing. So I don't want to buy Shuichi just for him to pass and get a fate back, because why would I do that? I've been working so hard to deny him fate. There's no reason for me to let him get another fate. So I just pass. I did what I needed to do. I have these 3 stupid charges in my hand. By the way, charge is ridiculous. And I bid 1. I didn't need any more cards in my hand. I had 2 spyglasses that I can put on Kasada. On Kasada, so I'm getting playing a draw. I may as well pressure his honor, right? So he draws 3. He gives me 2 honor. That makes it nice and easy for me to I have these 2 watch commanders in my hand. If I so choose, I can switch. It's not a requirement. It's not something I need to do, but if I want to, I can. So now I need to find out which one is his air province. I don't want to hit his air province because that gives him another fate from his Seeker of Air. So I use the Wayfinder and I find Shameful Display. So at this point, this is the decision I have to make. He has 2 honored guys already, and he has a non-honored guy who is only political. So my thinking was I was originally going to send in Kasada, and then a Goblin Sneak just to have 2 characters there in case he has some for shame or something along those lines. You know how we do. But then I realized, well, he doesn't have a courtier, and if I attack with just Kasada, if I attack with just the Kasada, he won't even be able to trigger the Shameful Display because the only people who can defend are already honored, and the only person I'm attacking with is already dishonored. So Shameful Display is then blank. So I decide to do that eventually. Let's keep going. I pass. And then I do a Void Ring, because why not? Now, honestly, choosing Void was probably a mistake. And I'll explain to you real quick why. He wants to attack with his Doji Utaru. He wants to trigger a ring twice. This province right here, the one under Shuichi, is Rally to the Cause. This is Shameful Display. This is Meditations. So, ordinarily, he knows, he's seen Fertile Fields, he's seen Shameful Display, he knows this is water, or at least he probably knows this is water, or at least he suspects it. It might be under my stronghold. It might be Defend the Wall. You know, you never, this is another thing I like, is he probably assumes I'm running Defend the Wall, so he probably thinks that might be Defend the Wall, and then I Rally to the Cause under my stronghold. I don't. I run Ancestral Lands here, Rally to the Cause here. So his choice is. Let me just keep going here real quick. So, you know, we're going to get through this. I don't think he defends this military conflict because, like I said, Shameful Display is blank. I attack with 9. I think he quickly doesn't defend and passes and gives me the free ring for Void. Now, the reason the Void is a bad idea, that's why I paused it. Okay. By doing Void, I'm taking that fate away from him. That means that Meditations on the Tau is now a blank province, because he can attack with anyone he wants, and he can just, you know, win. Or, sorry, the province is blank. He can attack with anyone, they don't have fate on them, so the province Meditations on the Tau doesn't do anything. So, in retrospect, I would not have done Void here, because Void makes it so that he has an easy choice to do Meditations on the Tau. So, you know, by leaving that fate on him, it forces him into Rally to the Cause or Shameful Display. By taking it off, it gives him a free province to attack. So, in retrospect, I think that was a really bad call on my part to go Void. I did deny the Void on Kasada, but I had a reprieve in hand, so it really wasn't all that big a deal. And he's just realizing bollards. He realizes that Shameful Display is blank because of the way I attacked. So, he doesn't defend. I pass, I quick break, and we move on to the next conflict. I think he should pass. Yeah, I pass. I discard it, resolve the ring, take the fate off of Doji Otaru. And this is when I realize, like, oh crap, I just gave him a free province to attack. However, he passes. He's ready for his attack. However, he ends up deciding, and I think this was the one mistake that he made. He decides to go at the face-down province. He was probably expecting it to be Defend the Wall, and he probably counted my numbers and said, like, oh, he can't possibly win. He can't possibly win a political conflict, so Defend the Wall, I can just break it, get that out of the way, and then worry about Shameful Display and Meditations of the Tau later. Well, because I run Ancestral Lands, that is Rally to the Cause, which allows me to flip it to military, and immediately breaks the, or sends home the political rival. And that, I do think that was his only mistake in this game. And even that wasn't a huge mistake, because he obviously was aiming for the Defend the Wall. He wanted to break that Defend the Wall. He just didn't realize I didn't run it. So, you know, now he has Doji Otaru, which is a 6th strength military. I'm trying to decide, like, okay, now I can actually break on offense. If I can, you know, if I can find a way to get around his Doji Challenger. Let me pause it real quick. If I can get around his Doji Challenger, I can do a political buff. This guy gives +4 to somebody because I have 2 holdings. I had another holding in my discard pile. So I was thinking, like, you know, I could maybe get to +6 and maybe break his stronghold this round. And I had 3 charges in hand. So I play my I don't defend, I play my first charge, and he Voice of Honors to cancel it. Which is okay. So now we're caught up. And then like I said, I had 3 charges, so I just charge him again. I had all the fate in the world, so I can just charge him once again. And then he tells me I'm not playing him. I honestly don't believe that I was not playing him. I think that things just went badly for him, and it's just an unfortunate game based on the circumstances. But I have this guy, and I bonsai him. You know, I'm not sure why I did this. I think at first I was thinking like, oh, I may as well try and win this, um, just as like salt in the wound kind of thing. A little banter back and forth. Uh, anyway, so I was thinking like, if I can defend this properly, maybe I can just, have no issues at all, and I can just I can stop the break, I can stop the win, I can just kind of deadlock him. And this is, sorry, I'm going too fast. I ultimately end up deciding against it. I wasted a bonsai, which isn't awful, but I did waste it. Um, and I just use the favorable ground to send Shuichi home. So I charged him in, sent him home. I guess I did pull a fine katana from his hand, but that doesn't really matter. I imperial I send him home with a favorable ground, and now I have a conflict. I have a stealth to go in and stealth his Doji Challenger. Forgot about the favor mount, but that's what I did. That's what I was thinking. That's why I did it. He breaks the province, which I don't really care about because I'm about to hit his stronghold and everything. So, and his board is about to clear. So I'm gonna have a wide open shot next round anyway. But why not go for it now? Who even cares? So I do a political earth because I love cards. Cards in hand is wonderful. It gives me more options and it makes me happy. So I go back and I rebuild the favorable ground again. Is that what I do? Uh, yeah, I do that. So I bring the favorable ground back. That makes a Heated Guardian +4 again. And then he favored mounts his Doji Challenger in. I was like, ah, crap. I forgot entirely about that. So what I do is I just Heat a Guardian uh, to make my Shuichi a 7. His Doji Challenger is an 8 right now, 8 military, with that duelist training on him, on her. So I was like, if I can get close, maybe he won't be willing to do the conflict. Maybe he'll just let me win and we can all go home, all hunky dory. But he asked me like, what's your guy at now? And I say 7. So he ultimately decides to go through with the duel, because his 8 to my 7, that means that he has the advantage in the duel. I'm looking at his honor now. He has 6 honor, so I was thinking like, if I bid 1, I can lose, but then I can maybe take a bunch of honor from him. Um, didn't didn't really work out all that well, as you'll see once we get to the actual duel. He has trouble not. He says dual strings not firing, but he figures it out. He's dueling Shuichi. His 8 to my 7. I bid 5. Like I said, I could have bid 1 and just sopped out his honor, but I was hoping maybe he wouldn't be willing to bid 5. Maybe if I bid 5 and he bid 4, I could just negate the conflict, win it, and everything. Get the Earth Ring, draw some more cards, go to the next round. But it didn't work out that way. So now I'm playing the game of let's see if I can match him. So it's my 3 to his 5 because of the favor and my 2 characters in hand. I decide like, hey, I have two buffs in my hand, the 2 watch commanders. Why not just add 1 to him, and then I'll add the other one to the Wayfinder as well. But I forgot, watch commander is only 1 per character. I forgot all about that. It comes into play so infrequently that I didn't really think about it at all. So I was thinking about like, oh, I could put a spyglass on the Wayfinder, but I didn't want to do that because then I'm wasting card draw. I know it's stupid, but that's the thought process I had. So I bite the bullet and say like, you know what? I will just attach the second watch commander onto the keeper monk. It feels bad, but then I can win the conflict, draw a card, make him discard a card, and just, win the conflict. I like winning conflicts. It probably wasn't necessary at this point. And then he plays an ornate fan to go back up. He loses 2 honor. At this point, I'm like, man, I really should have been 1 on that duel, because then I could just ended it right there, or just won the conflict more accurately. But, you know, that's not how I did it. So he lost 2 honor to play that fan because I had 2 watch commanders in. But now he's winning 5 to 7. I can't do anything about that. So I just pass. He got it. He won on defense. I think he gets the favor back. But I do reprieve Shuichi. So his board is clearing. I have a Kasada, a Heated Guardian, a Wayfinder, and Shuichi going into the next round. So at this point, the game is virtually over. All I have to do is break his province. He has, I think, just a 7 fate, or maybe 8 fate at most. I was thinking about, like, you know, reprieving the monk just to get that watch commander again, but I was like, stop being a dick. Like, you don't need to rub it in. Just finish the game. So first turn, you know, he's first player, so it's his first action. We end the round. I get Karada District, a Shrewd Yasuki, a Borderlands Defender, and what is his name? Steadfast Witch Hunter. He gets Hotaru, another Hotaru, uh, Narishima, a Doji Challenger, and the Kakita Sami, I think her name is. So I'm thinking, like, alright, he'll probably do Narishima, and then maybe something else after that. But I think he was just kind of resigned to the loss at this point. His board is clear. There's basically no way for him to win. And then he just buys Hotaru. And then I throw that whole not being a dick thing out the window and play away the crab. It's definitely rubbing salt in the wound. In retrospect, I really didn't need to do that. I was being a jerk. I apologize to Matrim. Like, I'm sorry. I was a dick move. Objectively, it was a dick move. But anyway, he just passes, resigned to his fate, and I just buy out my provinces. Because why not? Just get everything else. He says, I did apologize to him, and he said, no problem, bit shell-shocked, otherwise would have avoided it, perhaps not considering character cost in the provinces. So, you know, these things happen. I was considering bidding 1, but then that instinct of, like, don't be a dick snuck in again. It's like, why am I being a dick? Why am I trying to dishonor him? So I just bid 5. Like, there's no reason to bid 1 in that scenario. I have the game wrapped up. Bidding 1 to just, like, take his honor away at the end would have just been a jerk move, and it wasn't necessary. It wasn't a nice thing to do. So he does play a political rival from hand, which doesn't really matter, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he can declare an attack if he wanted to, but it wasn't going to change anything. He just chose to pass his conflict. He says, like, I'm fucked either way. It does not matter at all. I think he just wanted a character on the board. Yeah, he's buggered it either way. So he passed his conflict, and then I just choose to make it a little, you know, as painless as possible. Just go with my lovely Earth. Declare everyone. Just get this over with. Trigger my spy glasses, of course. And, you know, just go with a 22 strength military to break his province, resolve the ring, and win. He says, nicely played. I apologize again for basically being a dick. You know, there's something to be said about, like, running your deck even when you know you're gonna win. I don't know what the thing is, but he didn't take it badly, which is good. I'm glad he didn't take it badly. And then we ended the game. So what I could take away from that game, I know that not everything can be a lesson, but you could see a lot of aggressive passing going on. You could see a lot of conflict characters coming into play. But in my opinion, the reason I'm recording this and the reason I'm issuing it out to you guys is because Goblin Sneak is an amazing card, and I want people to see what it can do in the right circumstances. You know, being able to take a fate from somebody when they only have 1 fate, or, you know, just basically mucking up their entire conflicts. You can see it from the early pass he did to me when I bought Kasada and he just passed conflicts. I was expecting to get that 1 fate for that charge, and he passed to disrupt that, just like I did it to him, I think, the next round. Or I duped Kasada and then I passed after he bought a Brash Samurai. So aggressive passing, managing your fate. If you could see there, I had a very healthy board, but I had like 9 fate during that one turn. I was pressuring the Void Ring when I could. I was defending the Void Ring when I could. And just overall trying to generate an advantage any way I could in the fate that I had, of denying him fate, getting fate when I had the chance, passing early. This all ties very nicely into my article that I wrote about how to manage your fate and how to purchase your characters and everything like that. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.